Hey, welcome back to Marvel Puzzle Quest with me, PiMacleod. We're here at day, what is this, 4,648? It's been a while. Hey, what up? What's up, that one Doge? Good to see you, dude. Thanks for joining me on the YouTube side. I would love to do what I was doing last week, where I was just kind of lazily playing some other games. How dare I? But no, some big news dropped over the last, day and a half. And I figured today was a good day to kind of come to terms with it. Take your deep breaths and finally let it out. You don't have to knee-jerk react to things, right? So let's take a look. Oh, it's not in the game. Did you think it was in the game somewhere? No, we're not talking about Mojo. We're not talking about that. A new 6-star? That's not worth talking about. I'm going to flip over here to this thing. Rebalanced powers? Look at that. Look at the top. 2026 character rebalances batch 1. This is just the first set of things to come. Now, to be fair, they promised this. They said they were going to do this. They looked us bold-faced in the eye, or on the webpage, and told us that they were going to change things set after set after set throughout the year. Like, they wanted it all happening within the first year. What's happening, though, is going to change a lot of how we play. I mean, the meta is going to be shaken up. It's not like they're just going to go ahead and take some nobodies, raise them a few points, and say, there you go. No one's going to change how they play. Let's take a look. I'm going to raise this phone up a little bit so I'm not like looking down the whole time here. All right, with update 344, so the week of July 20th. Next week, guys, we will be releasing our first batch of 1 to 3-star character rebalances. We will continue to release a new batch along with each update until we got through the work that needs doing. Okay, so I'm going to kind of skim through some of this here. We start with a handful of characters, buffs, things that need modern power level, provided summaries. Please note there may be minor changes to these numbers in the coming days, and 2-star Captain America will be getting his proper details shortly. Yeah, so I guess they didn't like get him done yet, but they're going to be. They got less than a week. TikTok, guys. This batch also includes changes to 2 infamous heroes that many players, meaning you, me, everyone who plays this game, I mean, if you're playing this game, you're using these heroes, right? Have been requesting that they review because they're far too toxic and dominant to the current metagame. We'll get into those terminologies and why they may or may not be true soon. We hope what we're doing here will relax them back to a more sensible place in the metagame and let some other heroes have a turn. 3-star Aunt May and 1-star Hawkeye. I mean, those are the 2 big ones. That's it. Those are the people that cause all the problems, and I mean the good problems. The problems we all enjoy. That's also why we see them everywhere, right? Okay, so our Aunt May is having her power brought down generally and has been rebalanced, so it makes sense to ascend her above 4-star. That's a good part of it. If you look at the end game result, being able to finally take her to 5-star without having to worry about your power being reduced, that's a good thing. But of course, well, let's look at the power levels and we'll continue that train of thought. 1-star Hawkeye was like Mentos being dropped in a cola bottle when Ascension was introduced. I mean, it's a pretty good train of thought for that, a good analogy. He has been rebalanced to take the current Ascension structure into account and back to a more sensible level. I guess they're right with this. We'll talk. Here it goes. Full details of changes to Aunt May and Hawkeye are provided below, and I mean below some of this stuff here altogether. They're going to have a blog coming soon with more about the design thought process, where we're ultimately trying to get with the game, blah, blah, blah. First note, I want to say, as much as I love jumping on the horn and talking to you guys about this stuff as soon as I can't do it all the time right when news comes out. It's been like a day and I'm just now jumping on this, right? I work 9 to 5. I got a job. I got a family. But I'll give it to you as soon as I can whenever it's big news, right? That said, also, I'm here on the forums too. We're looking at right here is a page from their official MPQ forums. So If you need my introspection or have questions you want to shoot to me, you could always find me on here too and send me a message. Same name, PiMacleod. It's the name we use everywhere. What's up, Seth? Thanks for joining me on the YouTube side. Good to see you, dude. Okay, so we're starting off with this chart is tiny, and I'm gonna blow it up a little bit, and by a little bit I mean a lot of it. If you could see, it includes Black Widow, Iron Man, Spider-Man, Venom, Yelena, and then it jumps to Captain America, 2-star, 3-star Luke Cage, and 3-star Deadpool. It doesn't cover many 2-stars at all, just one of them, and just a couple of 3-stars. Obviously missing from this little list is 3-star May and 1-star Hawkeye. Also, there's one other 1-star missing. Storm. Kind of weird, right? Like, I don't know why she got overlooked. I guess she's already good. I wouldn't have figured as much, but okay. So all this chart is showing you is like basic damage changes here and there, how much health they're getting, how much crit multiplier they get, team up damage, yada yada yada. It is what it is. It's not like crazy and worth writing home about. It's all positive, so take that for what it's worth. For the 3-stars over here, Luke's getting a bunch more health and Deadpool's getting a little more health, but all in all, it's the same thing. Number go up. Good stuff. Let's look at what the actual powers do, though. This is the reason why we use these characters. This is what we want out of the buffs and nerfs, right? All right, so 1-star Widow. Aggressive Recon. Cost lowered from 10 to 8, and that's the initial cost. So you know how like this was one of those powers that got cheaper for every level every tier you have of it, if we can call it that. So the first tier started out like at 10, it's going down to 8. Let's see, reduced final cost from 16 to 14, reducing the amount of overall AP stolen. I'd like to see that in a chart because it doesn't make sense of how they worded that. Initial cost from 10 to 8. I feel like that means end cost, like the 5th tier, because final cost from 16 to 14 is that's like that doesn't make sense, right? Maybe they did a misnomer there. Anyways, Widow's Sting lowered cost from 9 to 8. That's cool. Widow's Sting is her stun. That's the one thing everyone loves about 1-star Widow. You get that 5-turn stun on one person and then another 1-turn stun on the rest of the enemy team. That's awesome, right? Reduced overall amount of stuns. That's like the whole reason we used this one. You know, I mean, you don't have to use it. There's other stuns in the game, but for 9 blue, it was worth it for a team stun and 5 on your troublemaker that you're targeting. We'll have to see how much that's really reduced. And then Sabotage got a damage buff. Now that's crazy. If you've seen 1-star Widow in the 5-star game, you know, 1A5 Widows out there, that yellow is deadly. It's expensive, sure, but it can just one-shot people easy. Like I've seen it do over 200k unboosted. And then that's not even factoring in any boosters like 3-star May or whoever else they want to throw in now, right? So that could be kind of crazy. Whoa, Mark, good to see you on the Twitch side. Thanks for joining me, Maddie. What? Bands and snack? He's gone crazy. I don't know. He's foaming at the mouth. Calm down, Mark. Okay, 1-star Iron Man. I do like how they note that after 13 years, they're finally changing some of his numbers, and he deserves it, right? Repulsor Blast, his red, down from 10 to 7, and raise the damage. All around positives. Armored Assault, strength of his projectiles, and the damage goes up. Great. The Ultra Freon Beam, the blue that barely anyone can use because it's 19. Who gets 19 blue before they win the game? I mean, I guess if you're playing a long game, like, or doing something with some crazy stuff that I would show you with multiple man or something like that, sure. But yeah, for a 1-star ability, it's good. They reduced it from 19 down to 10 and raised the damage. Good stuff. Well, never calm down. He's rabid. Okay, Mark. It's awesome. 1-star Spider-Man. Let's see. Increased damage on web swing. I think that's his red, if I remember correctly. Yeah, that's his red. All tied up is his blue. Raise the cost from 6 to 7. We didn't really want that, but okay. And then increase the damage. And then spectacular strategy. Raise the cost from 6 to 8 and increase the damage. Now that one kind of sucks. They consider this a buff. I mean, it increases the damage, sure, but a lot of people like using 1-star Spidey because you got 2 random crits put out on the board for 6 purple. Nice and easy. Now, it wasn't as abusable as Hawkeye, but now we've just gone up to 8 purple, which means it's kind of hard to get off without multiple purple AP supports getting you up there. I guess that you could use 1 maxed out purple support and boost 2 purple AP, and you still get it. But, you know, that's just assuming that the support triggers. Because, you know, that doesn't happen all the time. 1-star Venom. Reduce cost of Devour from 12 to 8, but reduce the damage. I feel like that's almost a shame. You didn't have to reduce the damage. It was lackluster to begin with. You casted it, and you were never happy. It's not like Devour won the day. But whatever, it's down 8. So they cut 33% of the cost off, so I guess that's okay. See how much damage it goes. Ugh. Symbiote Stares, no change. That's weird. It's like, what, 7 purple? If I remember correctly, for a 1-turn stun. And that's if you got a max, like, 5th tier, right? If you have it at 5th tier, it was like a 1-turn stun, you put out a web, 7 purple, done, right? That's all it did. We just talked about Widow having like a 5-turn stun, plus 1 for the enemy team, and it was like only 9 blue. This is just 2 purple less, and that's all you're giving me? No damage? No extras? I feel like it's missing something there. Symbiotic Rush, increased damage. Okay, no one really cares about Symbiotic Rush, but okay, we'll take the damage up. 1-star Yelena. Lethal Recon, that's her purple, her one that steals and does damage. Reduce the cost from 13 down to 10. Okay, we'll take that, that's nice. Removed scaling AP cost for the ability. Okay, so it doesn't like go down, you know, with every level you put into it. It just has a flat cost now. And then reduce damage to match ascended versions of the character. Reduced damage to match ascended versions of the character. I don't quite get their wording there. That could be taken a few different ways, but I guess we'll wait and see on that. Let's see. Payback mission. Reduce cost from 13 to 7. That's a big drop. That's almost half. And honestly, if you know me, I think Payback mission is pretty good. Never was it broken, in my opinion, but it's one of the earliest abilities in the game where you can spend just cast a power, and it just targets enemy special tiles. It doesn't care if it's strike, attack, protect, countdown, repeater, etc. Enemy special tiles. Just targets 2 of them at random, turns them into crits. It's always been a good ability, so I like that one. That's good to see it reduce in cost too. Stealth Explosion. Increased damage dealt by traps. That's dangerous AF. 1-star Yelena's Stealth Explosion was scary before as an ascended 5-star character. In any of the PvP matches or wherever you see her at, if she's boosted up there and ascended, don't trip one of those traps. She puts them out passively per turn, and they can end you. They're dangerous. So that's scary that they boosted it. 2-star cap, details coming soon. I wish they would have hinted at something. You don't have to give me the numbers, but 3-star Luke Cage. Righteous Uppercut. Reduced cost from 13 to 9. That's good. So that's his yellow. And it always was way too expensive for what it did. But it was a powerhouse move. It did do good damage for it. And they are increasing the damage? Okay, I see you. That's cool. Unbreakable. Increased projectile strength. So that projectile is kind of like his I hate to say it, but it's kind of like most of his shtick. The whole point as a new 3-star player, if you're new to the game, Luke Cage was a welcome breath of fresh air because you start the game with a projectile. That means less health pack usage. That means going in from fight to fight in PvE and being just a little healthier each time, knowing that Luke Cage was up front and helping you get through stuff. Not to mention help fuel any abilities or stuff that relied on projectiles or specials being out there. It was kind of a nice thing to have, so it's good that they are really leaned into it. And then finally, jab, jab, cross. Increased the cost from 6 to 7. Increase the damage. I mean, that's cool. That's always welcome, but I don't know why they increased the cost. Is it to get around the fact that you could, like, first turn with the villain on your team with the Tinkerer and jab someone real quick? Turn 1? That doesn't seem like it's that bad of a deal. You can do that with a lot of characters. I don't understand why they increased the cost. Could have just left it at 6. But maybe, hey, you know what? Maybe the damage is a giant increase. What do I know? 3-star Deadpool. A little off the top is a general damage boost. So his red gets boosted a little bit. I kind of wished it would be a lot bit more because it's kind of lackluster. But Whales reduced the cost from 14. That's a big deal. Whales was a giant, like, if you saved up your Whales points, and we all have, right? Your Deadpool points, you need about 10 days worth of points to get basically a free win. Get your 14 purple, Deadpool cast Whales, spend the points, thumbs up, you win. Reducing the cost from 14 while still reflecting some of the potency that his Deadpool points allow for. I don't know what that is regarding. We're just going to have to wait and see. We got at least a week, right? And life of the party, making the 1-turn countdown tiles feel a bit more impactful. Those 1-turn countdowns, all they did was heal him. He would jump to the front, take the damage for someone who's lower health than him, right? And he would make 1-turn countdowns because of that. And, well, no, like a single 1-turn countdown. He just does it for the one hit. Anyways, I hope it makes him heal a lot more. Because if you're going to jump to the front and take one hit, which probably leads into a cascade of hits, come on. Come on, give him his comeuppance. It's Deadpool. He should probably get some healing that's actually worthwhile. So, that could be cool. Okay, all the fun and games are over. Let's move to the NERFs. Dun, dun, dun. NERFs, every endgame player, blah, 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 blah. Okay. This part's important, and I'm going to read this part here. I've always thought this, and it's good to hear it echoed. I think they've said it before multiple times, but it's just remember this as we're going through this, okay? Many new releases and rebalances often get compared to them, which in itself provides an issue with the game, since their existence at their power level pushes out so many other characters and their viability. Basically, if new characters didn't live up to what 1-star Hawkeye and 3-star Aunt May could do, then they were forgotten about. If you couldn't mix them with them in some sort of formula, they pretty much were dead in the water. Very few last without those two. And it's not to say that they have to be used in conjunction with them, but look at the metas. You got M'Baku, and he's benefited from Aunt May before in the past. Now more Namor, but he's benefited from that. Juggernaut's benefited from these teammates. A lot of these characters just kind of look at them and like Frankie Nova, 5-star, right? It's May all day long. Every single one of those Winfinite teams with Hawkeye, it's because of Hawkeye. It's not because of Shang-Chi. It's not because of Purple Man or whoever else you might put with them. It's Hawkeye. So, yeah. Anyways, we're hoping by doing so, taking these characters down a peg, the other teams become viable and characters should have a bigger impact on the meta that has come to be used. I'm not so sure about that, guys. This is absolutely intended as a meta shakeup, and though we really wanted to try and keep characters where they are by introducing more counter mechanics, we recognize that for the health of the game, it's time to recalibrate to a better state. Okay. We hope that you see this as an exciting time where you can redefine what the meta looks like and bring some excitement back to what you're fighting against and with. We also recognize that these aren't the only major balance perpetrators. And based on how these changes go, we also plan to have a look at other problematic heroes that are definitely overtuned in the future. I mean, might be 3-star Namor, might be 5-star Sam, 4-star Jugs. Yikes. Might be some stuff like that. We don't know. It's just all speculation. So 3-star Aunt May. Here we go. Having a 3-star that gets ascended to 4-star, getting a crazy high match and ability damage boost, and then it comes down again when it gets to 5-star? Question mark? You know, that's my question mark, not theirs. Leaving players stuck with a 4-star at the top of the roster pick is not something we particularly thrilled with having in the game. It makes sense, right? You can't go to 5-star because her boost got crazy reduced. It went from like 200% at 4-star down to 75% at 5-star. That's dumb. No one's going to take that. No one would. The people that did take it, they did it because it was a science experiment, or maybe they had some other grand scheme, or maybe it was just ignorance, but you get the point. Like, it was never a purposeful, like, yes, it wasn't just for that. There was some other underlying factors. Anyways, to give some perspective on just how big of a problem Aunt May is, she is used more than Hawkeye, Juggernaut, and Omega Red combined, and over 50% more than the next most used character, which is Polaris. Yes. It's kind of crazy. You think of this Marvel universe and all the different characters we have in this one game, which is a lot. And Aunt May, Peter Parker's aunt, is one of the most used characters. With that, we're bringing their buff power down to a reality without the top pick, blah, 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 blah. Iron Wisdom, reduced overall match and damage boost supply. They're still high, but not breaking into the 100% match damage thing. Enduring Ordnance, damage values are revised with modern damage scaling, and same thing for Still Spry. If I zoom in a bit, you can just see some of the numbers, the color numbers going up, health, tile damage, all that stuff. At least the health is getting a boost. She was kind of frail before. She should be frail though, right? She is Aunt May, whatever. Let's see. Iron Wisdom, here we go. All the drum rolls in the world, here you go. Grants her team 40% increased match damage, 45% increased ability damage. This is all level 1 stuff. Let's just zoom in and get the real deal, right? At level 5, it's going down to 65% increase for matches. It was at 80. Ability damage down to 70%, was at 100. And the health gate, because so when she gets below a certain number, a certain amount of health, her extra bonus kicks in. So she needs to be at 55% health or less before she gains an extra 35% bonus for her match and ability damage. So let's just say you take her around and use Thanos on a few easy nodes, right? That's the thing we've all done in the past. You've seen it here on this channel, and I'm sure you've done it yourself. You whittle your own characters down to kind of get them to a certain state. Well, if you get 3-star May down to that level, down to 55% or less health, well, now you just keep her there, take her out of that squad, and add that 35 on the others. So she would have 105% ability damage increase and 100% match damage increase, as long as you don't raise her health up more. Okay? You'd probably have to keep flexing that, though, because her yellow states that she gains, where's it at? Increased match damage, increased ability damage, 5% increased maximum health. Where's that health increase? It's 25% here when you're at rank 5. So you get that 25% increased health, and actually might raise you up above half, and then you're not getting the boost. So you gotta have to bring her down a bit just to get that extra boost. Anyways, that's a big deal. And unfortunately, before I move on to the next one, just want to look here. We have no word on what the ascension powers are like. We don't know what 4-star's like or 5-star. My guess is that it's just going to be like this for both of them. They're just going to keep it like this. 105% is their best. And we'll see it at the 4-star level and at the 5-star level. There's plenty of characters that do that in this game already that ascend and don't change. A ton of them do. More characters don't change than ones that do. So that's my guess, but I don't know for sure. It could change. We just don't know how. All right. The other abilities, don't know if you care, but hey, we'll read through them. We're here anyways, right? Jeff says, hey, what's up, Jeff? Thanks for joining me on YouTube, dude. I don't do any PvE without 3-star May. It's so much faster. I mean, I agree. I'm with you on that. However, okay, so like we're doing heroic PvE right now, and she's a technologist. So yes, I use her all throughout it. But last month was all X-Men. We couldn't use her. She's not an X-Men. I still did it. I mean, because we had other ways to cheese the wins for like big teams, like a multiple man. Yeah. Anyways, so let's see if it's not a technologist or X-Men, aka an affiliation without cheese, what we'll do then. Anyways. Excuse me. Enduring Ordnance. Deal damage, create 13 turn. You're reading that, right? I want to bring that up here. Come here, you. 13 turn ordnance countdown tile. That's not right. That's a mistake. Let's just read it here. So at rank 5, damage is going up almost double. Creating 3 countdown tiles, 3 turns each. Random damage goes up about 1.5. Yeah, approximately. Yeah. Good stuff. I mean, it's not like we're going to be, woo, I'm going to use her red all the time now. I mean, it's just when it comes up, I'll definitely be happier that it does more damage. And pretty much the same thing for blue, right? Although I will admit, using her with Cosmic Iron Man, because he builds you blue passively, and he makes so many countdowns, you could use her blue a lot with him and make a lot of stuns pretty free. Anyways. Damage goes up a substantial amount, like over 2 times. More countdowns are affected, but it is less turns of stun. But it's okay. Stun's a stun. And plus, if you're doing what I'm saying, making free blue AP with your Cosmic Iron Man, that's a good thing. Okay, let's move to the other guy that's a victim of this hate crime. 1-star Hawkeye. Take aim. That's the purple, the one we abuse. Raised cost from 5 to 7. That 2-point increase is a big blow. But the hits don't stop there. Arrow Stab raised the cost from 9 to 10. Like what? No one's using Arrow Stab. I mean, we use it because per his passive, it generates you more purple and red AP just in case you need a little more purple. So you use the red for that. But okay, fine. And then finally, his yellow. The reason the whole Winfinite works to begin with. Reduced overall AP gain at max level. Specifically targeting purple AP to curb getting his Winfinite going as easily. So, yeah. There's his stuff. Don't care. The things it affects don't change. It still affects these. You can make a crit on all these tiles. Whatever. That's not what we're here for. It's the whole 5 to 7 cost. Arrow Stab goes from 9 to 10, but it's still the same idea. It just costs 1 AP less at each level going down. So it's going to be 1 AP higher at whatever rank you generally use it at. And here's the big kicker. Yellow AP... Oh, I'm sorry. The yellow passive thing. Ugh. Whenever you fire a red ability, you gain AP. Whenever you fire a purple, gain purple. But obviously, you get both at rank 5. At least that's how it works in the game as we know it now. The red AP You're going to get one more red AP now and one less purple. So by raising the red cost, they're hoping that between both of those adjustments, you can't just start out going ham with Hawkeye purple and or red. Now, of course, if you're like me, you've probably already done all the math. You could still start with Black Widow Batons and Quantum Realm and start with up to 12 purple AP right off the rip. I could do this, right? Put a refreshment card on Hawkeye, and that way you're creating one purple every time he casts it. That's still there. You could also mitigate it other ways. Maybe put Chimichanga or the purple Infinity Stone, the Power Stone, anyways, on somebody, the person that's going to be doing your big match damage, like Shang-Chi. And that way they have a chance of creating more purple AP every time they match. There's that option. But really, at the end of the day, if you put all your supports just right and burst, and make sure to boost it +2 purple AP at the start, and everything fires off, you'll get one chance with his crit, and then a second casting of it, and then maybe a third casting, and that's probably where it stops. You might be able to squeeze a fourth out somehow. Maybe Cascades will help you. But yeah, the Winfinite ends there. Now, of course, your team comp may help it. Put Toad in as a partner. You cast a purple with Hawkeye. Remember, Toad's going to put out more purple tiles. Maybe you'll keep it going longer because those purple tiles are now charged. But yeah, everything as we know it starting next week is going to be a little less Winfinity. All right. That's pretty much it. I'm not going to go into the comment section on that. I've already been there. But if you want to look around there, go for it. Go on the forums, say hi, wave to me. And we can chat things if you want, but join the comments on there. Or do me a favor here. Yeah, do you like the changes? Do you have any problems with them? Talk about it here. Drop comments on the video here on Twitch or on YouTube. I'll be happy to chat them over with you. Talk about what my view of it is. I'm not so doom and gloom about it, but at the same time, I do see how this will change my PvP game and my PvE game. They've just affected both ways of playing the game pretty handily. So, yeah. I can only hope now that they're going to give us more ways to get 6-star shards without having to shell out my wallet every time I want something, right? Because I don't do that. So, all right. I gotta go. I can't stay that long as I would like to. Oh, John! Whoa! Thanks for joining me on the Twitch side, dude. I'm not a fan of the Hawkeye nerf. Might abandon PvP again. We'll see, man. We'll talk. All right. Okay, thank you very much for joining me on the YouTube side. Jeff, Seth, and Doge. Appreciate it as always. And on Twitch side, John, thanks for jumping in there. And Mark, always awesome to see you. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye, everybody.